Good evening. Welcome to my garden, Lilac Hill. I am out on the east side of the house. This is the shady side now in the afternoon sun, and I am in front of back into my flower bed, my beautiful rose of Sharon. This is Blushing Bride. What a beauty. Doing so well. So this evening I want to walk around the garden and share some of the highlights of summer so far. There's still lots of summer left. I just thought it would be fun to see what's happening, get an update on some of our structures, and see the different changes that have occurred since I last did a video on the season. So let's go for a walk and we'll have a look around. Okay. The Rose of Sharon grows in this raised planter that Terry built. This is the spring bulb planter with daffodils, hyacinths that come up in the early part of the year. Here's the hydrangeas, macrophilia, and the lace cap, both getting their fall colors now. It was a good year for hydrangeas. And there's just another view of the bed. Rose of Sharon is a nice summer plant. I have a white pillar on the Rose of Sharon on the hillside. I hope it gets nice and big. There's some marigolds that I grew from seed. Marigolds too, and gladiola all say summer. Okay, let's go up the hill. Just look one more time. Enjoy the Rose of Sharon. And we'll go up the hill and have a look at some of the other summer highlights in the garden. And as I approach the hosta enclosure, this is an area I've filmed lots of times. The path I put in a few years ago. There's wildflowers on one side. The rudbeckia came from a wildflower perennial seed mix, and this is its third year. It's done very well. Poppies too say summer. Different shades of poppies. I grew a GM called Red Dragon from seed. I'm quite pleased with myself with that. So there's improvements to make, but this is just a fun area to experiment and try different plants. Soil, of course, is terrible, but that's okay. You just sort of work with it, keep mending. Beatrice Blazing Star. And of course, the daisies are all finishing now. They did really well this year. Nice shock of yellow from the calendula. And then if we come over this way, the Three Monks Hood did very well. Bees enjoyed them. Spirea in here, Weigela. Foxglove, this is called Balmy. Monarda, Bee Balm. And the other two pots of Bee Balm are by the hosta enclosure, and they're going to come forward and come out into the hot sun because they both have mildew. Quite common on Monarda. The globe artichoke is going to give me 5 globes. And the aphid population seems to have died back a bit. It was quite infested. More poppies. On this side is the black adder, and that is anise hyssop. And look at the bees. The bees on the black adder. I could have more black adder or hyssop. I like this plant. And the deer don't bother it. The bees love it. The deer don't bother it. This is Abbott's Wood Potentilla, and look at it, still blooming from the spring. I think it even has some buds on it still. This one here. This one is Mango Tango. Another nice hyssop. Salvia. And a little white swan echinacea. Okay, let's go over here. I want to share the tool shed that Terry built. It's got its hardware on now. What a nice building. The slope of the roof is deliberately sloped to the back so the water will run off and water the cedar trees. New hardware. Looks really nice. And that will be finished on the inside, and then we'll put our tools in a nice place. This area here is going to be finished for sort of a shady seating area. I couldn't be in this garden on this property without Terry. He does the structures, the hosta enclosure, and of course the blue little summer house was done by Terry, and now the latest one is our little glass house. This display is really nice. This is the hydrangea that I had on the hill, but it got quite sunburnt. Look at the color. It's just so perfect. I guess that said that it's not acidic and it's not alkaline. It's just neutral because it's not really pink and it's not really blue. This balsam, Himalayan balsam, is quite interesting. It's on the invasive species list for British Columbia. But what an interesting plant, and the flower is really quite remarkable. It's got this sort of almost like a pocket that hangs down the back. But I guess it takes away from the habitat of the native plants. I'll have to find out how to dispose of it properly. And this little hydrangea was a rescue from the clearance section called High River. I really hope it keeps that beautiful pink tinge to its blooms. It's been repotted, but it's not in a frost-proof pot, so I will have to winter protect it. This is a piece of the chrysanthemum falmum I've had for many years. This is from Auntie Sandra's garden originally, and that is in a frost-proof pot, and it stays in that pot all year round, and it will bloom pink with yellow eye. This is a new addition, fall chrysanthemum, and can't really remember the color, but I think it will be more of a mauve one, I'm hoping. And I rescued a piece of my salvia hot lips from the enclosure. I thought it had succumbed to winter, but I still have a little bit of it, so that's kind of neat. But I just like this look. I like the dimension it brings to the enclosure. I like the color combinations. So let's have a look inside the enclosure. Quite a bit different from, excuse me, the spring when I was filming earlier. Yeah, there's phlox in here, and the pelargoniums did really well. There's some new additions here. The Ed Rose was moved over to a pot because I couldn't take care of it. So I've got the Gaura Monarch White in here. I love that frothy foliage. And then the Carnival Plum Crazy is the new heuchera, the dark one, and then a perennial geranium. I want to share the rose on this side because this rose will be moved next. This is the Chicago Peace, and it just is not working in here. I cannot care for this plant, and it's got quite a bit of growth that needs to be pruned. But with that said, it also has a lot of new growth. This flower spike here, or flower truss, was all completely new. And I will make it a nice bed by what I'm calling the chicken run garden. I think that will just be a lot better than this. Okay, I'm focusing on now the purple phlox. I have 5 phlox. I have a white Rembrandt up on the patio with the other hostas, and I don't have the phlox out in the garden for obvious reasons. I'd like them in here. I think they look really nice with the hydrangea. The pentstemons finishing, dark towers. This little Jacob's ladder, and I have its tag. Golden feathers, Pomonium pulcherrimum, is replacing a heuchera that got the rust. I think it was creme brulee, and I isolated the plant. It's just growing in a pot to come back from rust spots, but I love this. I think the dimension of the leaf and the leaf texture just really works with the other plants that are already in here. This looks really summery. The phlox especially make it summery. So do the pelargoniums in the planter baskets. That's Sum and Substance. Really beautiful big hosta finishing its blooms now. All the hostas were extremely successful this year. And over on this side we can see the beautiful hydrangea mop head. And in the corner is going to be, I have planted from seed, a Tithonium that will give a nice orange, beautiful dark orange bloom. And I just want to show this hydrangea because I got this for $1 in the clearance basket at the superstore or grocery store. And look at the flower. What beautiful color. The hydrangeas are very thirsty. I water a lot this time of year from my rain barrels. They are connected to the downspouts of the workshop. So I have 2 big rain barrels I can dunk water cans into. So I'm not always relying on the hose. I put some artwork up on my blue painted wall of the little summer house. And the heucheras will go right through till fall. And then this last plant is the coral phlox that I was able to salvage from behind the peony that had been stepped on during the course of the build. But it's come back and I really like it in here. I like it, I think it picks up nicely on the little bit of pink from the heuchera. So I think this is going to be a really nice addition for this bed. A little height after the clematis are finished. Yeah, I like that in there. And protected from the deer, and it also picks up on the pink of the pelargonium. This basket isn't as strong as the other 2, but you get the idea. Okay, let's have a look on this side now for some more summer highlights. Beautiful afternoon, not too sunny. Oh yes, and this is the Violet Queen, and you can see how Monarda does get the mildew when it's not in a really hot area. I think they're going to look really good move forward. And look at the monarch white, the gaura, how it's come through the wire like that. That's really neat. Yeah, it's just really pretty. Everything just looks really summery. I'll pan around to this bed here. That's the main bed. I've had quite a few new plants that got added. And I'm just going to get my tags so I can see these new additions. Okay, so over on my table here, oh no, my tags are in my back pocket. I write the date that I get the plant, and then this tag will go into a bag, and I keep the tags in Ziploc bags, and then I refer to them, and I don't put the tags in the ground. I've lost too many tags. These deteriorate. And this one, it's good that I have a tag, because I see the campanula was pruned by the deer yesterday. Zinnias I grew from seed. That's the koi. It looks really good. That koi is a gem. Some plants were moved forward, some plants are new. The divinity came from behind the glass house. Aster, what a beauty. Pardon me, it's just finishing. There's the pink phlox. So 5 phlox in total. I'd like to add more. I'd like to get maybe like a dark maroon one. We've just been approved, or not approved, we've just approved a quote for deer fencing for the end of October. I'm so excited. I gotta prep the ground for deer fencing. But lots of things for summer. There's lots of perennial sunflowers, and I would like to do more zinnias next year. I miss my tall annual sunflowers, but the deer bit the flower heads off one year and I haven't done them since, just for that reason. So I really think it's just wonderful to be outside in the nice sun and enjoying the summer season. We'll have a quick peek in the glass house. It's another liatris. Oh, and this is a chameleon. And this is in a big ceramic pot. This plant cannot be let loose in your garden. It is very invasive. And I think I pronounce it heucheras. So don't let that loose. This won't come through the ceramic pot, but don't plant that in a plastic pot. It'll just break through. Look at the sun on the little tick seed. And the liatris has lots of bees on it. This one has more bees than the other one. This looks really pretty. And in here, we're getting our roof in a few days. Terry's got all the corrugated plastic ready, and we've got the track on the roof. Can't see it, but there's a track up there that'll hold the corrugation. That's one of my finds from the secondhand store for $5. These are the windows from Sherry's daughter Ashley and her partner Luke's home in Vancouver Island, and Terry did them with Restoration Hardware, so they hinge. And I have a wonderful green hedge backdrop to block the neighbor. It's really nice, so private, but I still get to see the sky through this window, and having a few windows open give it a little bit more air circulation. I think this is going to be a really fun space to plant up annuals and maybe a few vegetables. The deer are hard. It's hard to do vegetables when the deer want to eat the flowers. Oh, there's the round sunbed from a distance, and the patio. Oh, I did add a Jacob's ladder in here, so I think that's the Jacob's ladder's in there. This is a Joe Pye weed. Look at the color coming up on that. And basin drum, a still bee, and Roseanne, geranium, all good summer doers. It just is really beautiful. Okay, so that is my summer highlights tour, and thank you for watching.